He tried to speak English in London and failed in seconds, but what happened next turned his biggest mistake into a simple trick you can use to speak confidently anywhere. Watch till the end. You'll never forget it. And if you ever struggle with Fun English Daily, hit subscribe so you don't miss the tips that can change the way you speak. The moment Aaron stepped off the plane, his heart was beating fast. London felt like a different world. Bright lights, busy streets. People walking quickly with coffee cups in their hands. Speaking English so fast, he could barely catch a word. He had dreamed of this city for years, but now that he was here, one thought kept coming back. Can I actually speak to people here? Arun had studied English for years back home. He could read. He could write. He even watched movies in English. But speaking to real people, that was something else. Every time he imagined it, his mouth went dry. Walking down a quiet street, he smelled fresh bread and coffee from a small cafe. It looked warm and friendly, so he pushed the door open. The smell was amazing, the soft music calming. He joined the queue, repeating his words in his head over and over. 1 cappuccino, please. 1 cappuccino, please. His turn came. The barista smiled and asked, "What can I get you?" Arun opened his mouth, ready to speak, but his tongue froze. The words came out broken. "A couple 1, please." The barista looked confused. Aaron quickly pointed at the menu. This one. The coffee came, but he felt like he had failed. He had said the words in his head 100 times. So why did it go wrong? The truth is, this happens to millions of English learners. It's not about not knowing the words. It's the pressure of the moment. You start thinking about grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary all at once. Your brain gets overloaded. The first thing Aaron learned from this moment was, keep your English short and clear when you're nervous. You don't need a long sentence. Instead of, "I would like to order cappuccino," please just say, "1 cappuccino, please." Or, "Can I have a cappuccino, please?" Simple is powerful. Clear is better than perfect. The next morning, Arun decided to try again. He walked into a bakery, saw the cashier, and this time remembered his rule, short and clear. The cashier said, "What would you like?" Arun smiled and said, "1 croissant, please." The cashier smiled back. Sure, it worked. He realized native speakers don't care if your English is perfect. They care if they understand you. Aaron began listening more on buses, in shops, in the park. He listened to how people spoke. He noticed short, friendly phrases like morning. Logically, thanks a lot and cheers. Listening is like charging your speaking battery. The more you hear real English, the more patterns your brain learns. He started repeating phrases quietly to himself, like an echo. When someone said, "How's it going?" he would later practice, "Good, thanks. You?" One day on a bus, a man sat next to him and said, "Cold today, isn't it?" At first, Arun panicked, but then he remembered another trick. Answer, then ask the question back. So he said, "Yes, very cold. Do you live here?" The man smiled and started talking. Aaron barely used 10 words, but the conversation kept going. That's when he realized asking questions is a secret weapon. It keeps the talk alive without needing long sentences. To make it easier, Aaron used a 3x3 rule. 3 ways to start conversation, 3 ways to keep it going, 3 ways to end it politely. For example, to start, "Hi, how are you? Logically, nice day, isn't it? Zrinia, or is this seat free?" To keep going, "Oh, really? Logically, that's interesting. Oh, what do you think?" And to end, "Nice talking to you. Have a good day, or see you later." This small toolkit gave him confidence everywhere he went. By the end of his first week, Arun felt like a new person. He no longer tried to sound perfect. He tried to connect. He kept sentences short, listened more than he spoke, and always had a question ready. One evening, he returned to the same cafe where he had failed on his first day. The barista said, "Hi, what can I get you?" This time, Arun smiled. "1 cappuccino, please. And how's your day?" The barista laughed. "It's been busy. How about yours?" Arun replied, "Good. Cold but good." They chatted for 2 minutes, and it felt natural, easy, real. Speaking English is not about knowing every word. It's about connection. If you keep it simple, listen carefully, and use questions to keep conversations alive, you can improve faster than you imagine. Just 5 minutes of practice a day can change your confidence. So if you've ever frozen when trying to speak English, remember Aaron's journey. You can turn mistakes into confidence with just a few small changes. Start today, even if it's only for a minute. And if you want more easy stories with real tips, subscribe now and watch my next video. I'll show you how to think in English so the words come out naturally. The next day, Arun decided to explore more of London. He had his small notebook in his pocket where he wrote new English words and phrases he heard. His goal was simple: speak at least 5 times with strangers today. The first test came earlier than expected. At the train station, he wanted to go to Tower Bridge, but couldn't find the right platform. He saw a staff member in a bright orange jacket and said, "Excuse me, how can I go to Tower Bridge?" The man replied quickly, "Take the Circle Line to Tower Hill, then follow the signs." Aaron understood most of it, but not all. Instead of pretending to understand, he used another simple trick. Asked them to repeat slowly. "Sorry, could you please say it slowly?" The man smiled and repeated slower this time. Arun thanked him and felt proud because many learners stay silent when they don't understand. But asking politely is a sign of confidence, not weakness. Later, while walking near the Thames, a tourist couple stopped him. "Can you take a photo of us, please?" Arun replied, "Sure." After taking the photo, he added, "Where are you from?" They said, "Canada." He smiled. "Nice. I'm visiting from India." This tiny exchange reminded him that speaking doesn't always mean long talks. Even a short, friendly line builds confidence. In the afternoon, he visited the British Museum. Standing in front of an ancient statue, he heard 2 school children talking in very fast English. He couldn't catch every word, but he trained himself to listen for key words. This is another tip he discovered. When listening, you don't need to understand 100%. Focus on words that carry the main idea. He caught words like old, Egypt, and king, and guessed they were talking about the history of the statue. Understanding the main idea is enough to keep you engaged. at the museum cafe, he decided to try a bigger conversation. He ordered tea and then asked the cashier, "Is this tea strong or light?" She replied, "It's quite strong." Arun smiled. "Good. I like strong tea." Adding a small opinion made the chat more natural, and the cashier even recommended another tea for next time. That evening, he wanted to buy a gift for a friend back home. In a souvenir shop, he saw a red London bus model, but wasn't sure about the price. He asked the shopkeeper, "How much is this?" The shopkeeper said, "It's £12, but if you take two, I'll give you for £20. Arun thought for a second and replied, "Only one, please." Simple, clear, no complicated grammar, and yet it worked perfectly. By the end of his day, Arun realized something important. Speaking English is not just about practicing words. It's about practicing moments. Every small interaction is a chance to grow. Even if you speak for only 10 seconds, that's still progress. The next morning, while waiting for a bus, an elderly lady started talking to him about the weather. "It's going to rain later," she said. "Aaron uses toolkit." "Yes, I heard that. Do you like rain?" She laughed. "Not really. I prefer sunny days." Just by asking one extra question, the conversation lasted until the bus arrived. As days went by, Aaron kept collecting phrases in his notebook. He didn't try to memorize long lists, just the useful ones he actually heard in daily life. For example, instead of learning 10 different ways to say thank you, he focused on thanks. Thanks a lot and cheers. This made it easier to remember and use naturally. One evening, Aaron joined a free walking tour of the city. The guide spoke quickly, but Aaron stayed focused, catching key words and using the breaks to ask short questions like, "When was this building made?" Or "What does this mean?" He noticed that asking questions not only helped him learn, but also made people more open and friendly towards him. The biggest change came on his last day in London. He had to ask for directions to his hotel from a stranger in the street. A month ago, he would have avoided this, but now he walked up, smiled, and said, "Excuse me, how can I get to the Royal Street Hotel?" The man explained, and even though Arun didn't catch every word, he followed the main points and reached his hotel easily. Aaron left London with more than souvenirs. He left with real confidence, not because he learned 1,000 new words, but because he used the ones he already knew, clearly and without fear. So if you ever feel nervous about speaking English, remember, keep it short, keep it clear, and keep talking. Every small conversation is a step forward. On his very last evening in London, Aaron decided to treat himself to a nice dinner at a small family-run restaurant he had passed every day on his walks. The warm glow from the windows, the sound of soft jazz music, and the smell of freshly baked bread made it too inviting to resist. He stepped inside, and a friendly waiter greeted him. "Table for one?" "Yes, please," Arun replied confidently. The waiter showed him to a cozy corner table and handed him the menu. Arun scanned it but didn't understand a few items. Instead of staying silent, he decided to use what he had learned. Ask simple questions. Pointing at one dish, he asked, "What is shepherd's pie?" The waiter smiled and explained, "It's a traditional British dish made with minced meat and mashed potatoes on top. Arun nodded. Sounds good. I'll try that. When the food arrived, it looked and smelled amazing. The waiter checked in after a few minutes. How's the food? Arun replied, Delicious. First time for me. The waiter's eyes lit up. Glad you like it. Where are you visiting from? I'm from India, Arun said. They ended up chatting about places to visit in London, and the waiter even wrote down a list for him to explore next time. That night, walking back to his hotel, Arun realized how far he had come in just 1 week. 7 days earlier, he had struggled to order a coffee. Now he could have short but natural conversations with strangers. Without feeling scared, the next morning at the airport, the woman at the check-in counter asked, Did you enjoy your trip? Yes, very much, Aaron said, smiling. I learned a lot about London and about my English. She laughed so well. Come back soon. As Aaron boarded the plane, he knew this trip had changed him. He didn't magically become fluent overnight, but he had learned something far more valuable: how to speak with confidence, even with limited words. And you can do the same. Remember his 3 main lessons. 1. Keep your sentences short and clear. Don't try to sound perfect. 2. Listen more than you speak. Pick up real-life phrases. 3. Ask simple questions. They keep the conversation going. If you practice these every day, even for 5 minutes, you'll be surprised at how quickly your confidence grows. So if you've ever frozen when trying to speak English, take Arun's journey as proof. It's not about having perfect grammar. It's about being understood and making a connection. Start small, practice daily, and your English will grow naturally. And if you want more easy stories with real tips you can use anywhere in the world, subscribe now and watch my next video. I'll show you how to think in English so the words come out naturally. A few weeks after returning home, Oren didn't want to lose the progress he had made. He started creating small English moments in his daily life at breakfast. Instead of reading the news in his own language, he switched to a simple English news app. The first days were slow. He had to look up words like headline and forecast, but soon his brain started recognizing them instantly. When shopping, he began reading product labels in English. In the supermarket, he would quietly say the items to himself. Milk, bread, sugar, tomatoes. It felt silly at first, but it built his vocabulary without studying from a textbook. One afternoon, he joined a free online English speaking group. At first, he only listened. People from all over the world were speaking, some fast, some slow, some with strong accents. Aaron noticed something important. Even native speakers sometimes stopped, searched for words, or made small mistakes. That gave him confidence. Perfection wasn't the goal. Communication was. He decided to join the conversation. Hello, my name is Aaron. I am from India. I visited London last month. A woman from Brazil smiled and said, Oh, I also went to London last year. Where did you go? Aaron managed to describe a few places. Big Ben, London Eye, Tower Bridge. His sentences weren't perfect, but everyone understood him. Every week, Arun improved a little more. He followed 3 new habits. 1. Think in English for 5 minutes a day. No translation in your head. 2. Speak out loud even when alone. Describe what you see around you. 3. Listen to different accents so you can understand more people. One day, he received a message from the same Brazilian woman. Aaron, your English is much better now. You speak with more confidence. That simple message made him smile for the rest of the day. Aaron knew the secret wasn't talent. It was practice, patience, and using English in real situations. And here's the thing, you can do this too. You don't need to live in London or travel anywhere. You can start today right where you are. If you wanted to share Aaron's exact 30-day speaking plan that helped him improve so fast, stay tuned for the next video. And if you found his journey inspiring, give this video a like. It helps me reach more learners like you. If you want to start your own journey, begin today. The first step might feel small, but one day you'll look back and see it was the most important one. And if this story gave you hope, subscribe to my channel and share this with someone who dreams of speaking English confidently, because the next success story could be yours.